I need a day off, guys. Your streamer needs a day off. Also, Facial wants me. So we are going to be taking a day off tomorrow. And then Tuesday, we will be back again. Hopefully to finish up everything that I need for Evanescia. And actually, as a matter of fact, speaking of Evanescia, the guide is done. Evanescia's guide is already done. I just finished it before I went live, so even when I'm not streaming, I'm always working. If there's any, I will answer chat 3 questions. They call me Mr. Genie. I will answer y'all 3 questions. 3 questions, and then I'll be moving on to Daily Village and Ask Pokke, and then we are gonna watch the concert. 3 questions. 3. Alright, let's take a look at which 3 questions should we take a peek over here. Oh, question number 1. Is NTE worth it? That is an excellent question by Unknown by Me 321. To answer that question, yes, NTE is worth it. In fact, if you want to play NTE at !NTE, you can in fact check out the link right here, which is actually going to be where you can check out NTE. So that is gonna be the first question. Hope that helps. Question number 2. Is HSR worth it? Okay, so chat is just wasting the questions on silly questions. So, yo, siapa ya? Is HSR worth? To answer that question, yes, HSR is absolutely worth it, because honestly the game should be called HGR because it's Honkai Goril. That is Honkai Goril. Alright, yo, Lance. Okay, after the concert we'll do the account review. After the concert, we'll do the account review, right? And then after the account review, we'll do NDR. Thank you, right? Okay, last question, chat. Why is MrPokke so handsome by JongGal2651? That is an excellent fucking question, if I can say so myself. So to answer that question, honestly, I would like to attribute this to working out, going to the gym, being born tall, being born with a face like this. So thank you for your question. So with that, we have come to the end of our 3 questions. If you guys would like any other questions, kindly hop on to our Evanescia's early guide. Hope this helps, right? Hope this helps. What's my leg day routine? Leg press, squats, hamstring curls, abs. That's my leg day routine, right? Thank you. Okay, so okay, a genuine question though. Genuine question. Okay. Pet Civic 777. That is a great... Okay, wait. Before I answer your question, let me get some BGM up in here. Also, I wonder if they fix this. Okay, they did not fix this. Alright. Pet Civic... Wait, what is that sound like? Pacific 777. Since Silver 9 and Evanescia use different outcharging mechanics, will there be 2 elation sustains, or will Huan be the best sustain for Evanescia, while the elation sustain will be more catered towards Silver 9? The great question about this is that Mr. HSR literally saw the fucking future, and I dedicated a segment in the guide itself to address that specific question. My guess is, in a vacuum, Huan works better with Evanescia than with Silverwolf. So, the one that needs a sustain more will be Silverwolf. And in order to sell a solution, they need to create a problem. Alright, create a problem and sell a solution, right? So the problem right now is Silverwolf doesn't have a viable sustain, especially because Huan is gonna probably get joined by Evanescia if you're gonna go down that route. So I think it is very, very likely that yes, Silverwolves will be benefiting from the elation sustain, but at the same time, I also can see how an elation sustain will work with Evanescia. Because if she can generate punchlines, it will also lead towards certified bangers during AHA instance. And then you just make use of Yao Guang to pull more AHA instance. So, whether or not they both work, I think the answer will most likely be yes. But I don't think they will be making 2 dedicated sustains just for 2 different Elation DPS. It's a little bit like Rabbi and Bodil. Like Rabbi and Bodil probably don't really care about like Firefly. Or not Firefly, sorry, Lingsha or like Gallagher, right? Like you want to run sustainers. So Firefly with Lingsha is like the casual team. But end up, everyone else still gets that 1 break sustain. So I think that will most likely be the situation. Hopefully that has answered your question. All right, thank you. When is the best sustain? That is not a question. Attack versus physical sphere. Physical sphere is slightly better, but like the difference is so marginal. You could honestly give Evanescia any main stats. Because her direct damage, like the damage not affected by Elation, is like less than 10% of the total damage output. So the actual damage is 90+% on Elation. So in that sense, if you want to give her like sustainless Evanescia runs, you could just give her like HP sphere, HP boots, and all that kind of stuff, and then just slap on like sustainless. While just ignore attack and like physical completely, essentially. Got 1 copy for Nanati, which will awaken is the best for to activate. This one. I like this. This is for overall exploration. But I personally like this. I personally right thing. Is Evanescia's E1 better than Silverwolf E2? I will save that for the live server. Because our account has an E2 Silverwolf. So it will be the perfect test to go E2 Silverwolf versus E1 Evanescia. That will be very, very interesting. And something tells me the results might shock you. Oh, E1 100%, bro. Bro, E1 100%. It's not even close. It's like usually for like a lot of DPS, you like probably contemplate, right? Or like E1 or S1. Because most of the DPS at E1 is kind of meh, right? The big ones at E2. And the S1 is really, really good. Because like you don't really have any good stuff. Bro, no, bro. Evanescia's E1 is legit fucking insane. It's like, if E2 Final and E1 Tribi had a baby, it's gonna be E1 Evanescia. So just get E1 Evanescia, thank you. Are the supports uneven in Eidolons? Technically, no. Because E2 Silverwolf with Yao Guang and E2 Silverwolf, E0 Sparksy, E0 Yao Guang, plus E1 Evanescia, E1 Yao Guang, free unit, and Hui. So like I will try to make the cost like as balanced as possible, so that it wouldn't be or like at worst we run like E1 S1 Evanescia into E2 S0 Silverwolf. So that to make the cost a little bit more balanced. Alright, make a E1 versus E2. Evanescia's E2 is really good, but like she can't really make use of the E2 until like you get a 4 Elation team. Because it's like a little bit of like a Silverwolf E2 syndrome. So for now, you want like 性价比, like the value, right? The value, because you're going to be spending less Delegates for either a signature like cone if you compare it to an Eidolon, right? So like 性價比 wise, I will get S1 first. And then in the future, when they determine like Evanescia's teammates, you can consider getting the E2 when she gets an eventual viewer. That will be my way going about it, right? Alright, so this is Evanescia. In terms of vertical investments, right? In terms of vertical investments, here are the power scaling visualized in 10 seconds. E1, S1, E2, all right? So E1 is basically right here. S1 is basically right here. And then E2 is basically around this caliber, maybe slightly higher, but in the future, when we have E2 plus Elation, full, right? 4-man Elation. So 4-man Elation. This E2 will probably be around here. So TLDR, this over this in that order. Hopefully this helps. Okay, help me that clip, guys, right? Help me that clip, right? Help me that clip. Should we screenshot this and share it to Twitter? You have cooled your last cool, my man.